okay? Now, as I said earlier, you're going to be dealing with some people who can't open their hand. You know, someone who's hemiplegic may not be able to open their hand, they may not be able to close their hand. There are options, and this is for D1 or D2. There are options, and the option is to just don't ask about doing anything with the hand and put your distal contact on the part of the extremity that they have control over. So you might just say, turn your palm up, okay? Turn your palm down, or bend your elbow. Whatever it is, so you're not asking them to do things that are not possible for them to do yet, okay? So you would modify the technique, okay? All right, so we're gonna go on to D2. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do the same thing with D2, just the rhythmic initiation and reversals, okay? In the upper extremity. And then in the lower extremity, it's actually a little bit easier for the therapist. So we'll show you D1 and D2, again, without resistance. And then whatever time we have left, not much, we'll do chops and lifts, okay? If not, chops and lifts will be in another lab, okay? So I need someone up here for D2 flexion. Okay, so you can lie down on your back.
So what is D2 flexion guy?
Sword.
Yep, the sword. Yep.
Sword from sheath to ceiling.
Yep.
Okay? But don't let go of the sword. Yeah. Okay. So, the hand placement is, there's no pivoting, but there is getting out of the way, okay? What we're gonna do, I'll show you the pattern first. Can you uncross your legs? Okay, so the pattern starts out with him, actually we're gonna leave the hand for the moment, with him in extension, adduction, and internal rotation, okay? And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna bring the arm up into flexion, abduction, and external rotation, okay? So it's gonna go from hand on your right hip to thumb facing the floor, okay? Now, if somebody has shoulder pain, maybe they don't go to here, maybe you have to put another pillow and stop it here, okay? But I don't want to see movement here, and I don't want to see cardinal plane up here, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start out, and I'm leaving the hand out for now, okay, with my forearm, my inside forearm against his arm, okay? And my other hand is kind of in supination because I'm going to be accepting his arm. So, and it's going to be a radial supination. So my hand will be on the radius to accept for supination. Now, reach up toward the ceiling with your hand, with everything, okay, and turn your thumb down to the floor, and I can either be here or I can move to here, either way. And then I take my proximal hand, okay, and I bring it to the forearm, close your hand, turn, and go back down And as soon as he starts coming down, I'm on the extensor adductor surface to come here. And then I switch my proximal hand to the radial side. This hand comes here, and bring your arm up toward the ceiling, and then back, thumb to the floor, okay? And then bring your hand down toward the opposite, towards your right hip. Okay, and I'm staying on the adductor surface here, pronator adductor, okay? Now if I add the hand to it, the hand goes from flexion, from finger flexion, wrist flexion and ulnar deviation to finger extension, wrist extension with radial deviation, okay? Radial deviation, okay? So from here, I'm gonna put my hand on the wrist extensor radial side and say, open your hand. Okay, open your hand, bring your wrist up, reach your fingers up to the ceiling, up to the ceiling, up to the ceiling. And now as he's moving up to the ceiling, I'm moving back and come all the way back so your thumb is to the floor. Okay, then I take my proximal hand, put it on the ulnar flexor surface, bend your fingers, make a fist, bend your wrist, bring your hand down to the hip. Open your hand, reach up to the ceiling, reach up, and then thumb back down to the floor. Close your hand, reach down, bend your wrist, and reach down to the right hip. Okay, open your hand, reach up to the ceiling, and come on back, 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 so your thumb is facing the floor. Close your hand, bend your wrist, and reach down, okay? Without any resistance for now. That will be enough for you guys to get the body mechanics, okay? So go practice.